You know what time it is. You know I have to start off with a smile. Yes, it is Tuesday, terrific Tuesday. I like tantalizing, but tantalizing is, not really a positive word, but I still like the word. So, happy terrific Tuesday. Happy tremendous Tuesday. However it is you want to frame it. Thank you for being here with me. I appreciate it. My nose, I know I sound a little stuffy. Like my allergies have been acting up all day, but I was not going to use that as the excuse as to why I could not come on here today for Real Estate Tuesday. Everybody excited for Real Estate Tuesday? I hope so, because I am. It's Real Estate Tuesday. I talk about, real estate on Tuesday. Hi, Isha. I talk about real estate on Tuesdays, because I am a real estate professional. If you don't know who I am, my name is Toria Howard. I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan. So what up, though, to all my Detroit people? I am residing in Memphis, Tennessee, and I am a real estate professional here and also financial literacy consultant as well. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about some real estate, right? So of course I'm in Memphis, so I refrain majority of this for Memphis, but I have some nationwide tips that you can take as well. So make sure that you take heed and share the video if you feel compelled to, because I do drop gems that can help each and every one of you, regardless of where you're from. But I do reference Memphis because that's where I am. But a lot of these tips can go overall if you're looking to purchase a home, especially now. This is the perfect time to get your finances in order for the busy selling season, which is spring and summer. But people are still buying and selling homes. I was working with one of my investor clients today, and she waited on a property. It was a lakefront property. She waited till today to try to contact me about it, and it's already pending. So if you don't know what that means, is it stages in the home buying process. So he will try to call. Oh my God, he gonna have to wait. Now I gotta come back. I hope you can hear me on Instagram. Let me know. But anyway, dang, and it took my brightness off. But anyway, let me just say, I lost my thoughts. But oh, my real estate client, she waited till today to try to get a lakefront property. The house went on the market yesterday. It's pending today. Well, so what that means is it stages in the buyer process. So you have a contract. Yeah, I am. Can you hear me? I hope so. Sometimes when my phone rings, you can't hear it on Instagram. Can you hear me on Instagram? Let me know if y'all can hear me on Instagram, please. But yeah. So oh, you said you're. I'm good. Okay, good, 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 good. So it's stages. So you have you under contract, which it makes it a contingency stage, meaning that they're going through the process of inspections and all of that. And then it's pending, meaning that it's about to go ahead and go to the closing table because all the preliminary things have been done, appraisals, inspections and all of that. But because of this property was an investment property, they probably waived the inspection, so that's why it went to pending so fast. So that's just another part of the process. When you're buying an investment property and you know it's a good property, you have to jump on it quick because a lot of properties in that area do not come on the market like that at that price. And it did need some cosmetic updates, but it was on the water. It was a really large home, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. Excuse me. And then it was it's in a great area. So she waited too long. She lost it. Here we are. So let's talk about it. So what's going on in Memphis real estate? So you're talking about there's 188 new homes on the market. There's 118 homes sold and 103 pending. So I just explained what pending means. Pending means that they're on their way to the closing table. So there's no nothing that's really blocking it unless somebody backs out, and then people can get sued and all that different types of stuff at that point. But people are still buying and selling homes. So why are you not purchasing? I know people are like, well, the interest rates are interest rates. If you're renting 100% of rent versus 7% of a mortgage invested in yourself, you tell me which one is best. But I looked at my friend's, she had showed me her ledger for her rent this year, she has paid her apartment complex $30,000 in 1 year. I'm just listen. You do the math. $30,000 in 1 year, and she has nothing to show for it but a rent ledger that's going to somebody else. And that's one apartment. So that apartment complex, I think, has like 100 units. That landlord is making a killing. So she's paid $30,000 over a year. So think about that. Look at your rent ledger and look how much you paid last year, and tell me you couldn't have a down payment on a home. Even though there's a lot of first-time home buyer incentives or home buyer incentives, you have is it Trust? I think it's Trustmark. Yeah, Trustmark Bank is doing 100% financing right now. You don't have to come out of pocket for anything. Now, you do have to have a qualifying credit score, and you do have to have some money saved. But that money that's saved, you can use for buying furniture or whatever you need to do. There are costs associated with buying a home, but I'll go over that in a little bit later. But think about this scenario now. Go back and look at your rent ledger. Look how much you've paid over last year, and tell me you couldn't have had a sizable down payment. Like I said, my friend showed me her rent ledger. She paid $30,000 in rent last year. That is a astronomical amount for. That's a good size down payment. Down payment, closing, everything. So you do the math. So let's talk about the interest rates, shall we? Now, the interest rates are dependent on your credit score, and they fluctuate from there. So just to give you a little education. So if you have a 740 to an 850, the interest rate is going to be the same. Okay. So you want to try to get up to that 740 mark, 760 mark, so that you can get that best credit, best interest rate. So right now, this is a national average. Now you have lenders that you have to check with your local lenders. They have lenders that have 5% right now, which is a good interest rate. Because when I bought my first home, I was paying like 9%. So it's still a good listen. It's still a good interest rate. And if you do have a high interest rate, you have a lower credit score, you can buy the home, work on your credit, because guess what? Buying a home helps you build your credit. So buy the home, build your credit up, get whatever you need to do, do what you need to do to get it corrected, increase it, and then go refinance it. So if you have a 740 to an 850, the average interest rate right now is 6.4. If you have a 730 to a 729, it's 6.5. If you have a 719 to a 700, it's 7%. If you have a 699 to 680, you had a 7.5%. As you can see, as the interest rate is as your credit score goes down, the interest rate goes up. It's like an inverse effect. So 779 to 660 is 7.8%. 659 to 640 is 7.9. And then 639 to 620 is 7.9. So the only reason why I didn't go any further is because the first time home buyer incentives, a lot of times you have to have a 740 or a 640 or 620 or higher to qualify. Now that FHA has lowered their limits. So you can buy a home with a 580, but with 3.5% down payment, though. You have to come with 3.5% down payment, but your interest rate is going to be high. So you can still buy the home, build your credit while you're in the home, and then, or whatever you need to do, whatever you need to do. So, to get that together and then refinance later. So it's up to you. Now, for me, work on your credit if you have the time, and then buy the home. So, but you can still buy a home with a 580. You just have 3.5% down. That is, of the sales price. And, that will be taken off with the loan. So let's talk about, it's Taco Tuesday, right? It's Taco Tuesday. Who likes Mexican food? Put it in the comments. Who likes Mexican food? I do. One of my favorite types of foods. Look, I'm a foodie. I love to eat. And it's Taco Tuesday. So here are some of the best places to get tacos in Memphis. You have, now it's a food truck over in East Memphis, off on American Way. I don't know exactly where it is, but my husband had got me some tacos from there before. Yes, Isha, gotta have the Mexican food. And those, I had some shrimp tacos. Oh, they were exquisite from the food truck. They were good. So, number one is in Memphis is taco. I'm probably saying this wrong. Nagana. I'm saying it wrong. Number two is Marcel's Tortas and Tacos. Number four, oh, number three, oh, it's the same. Marcel's Tortas and Tacos. Uh, and then you have Elena's Taco Shop. Now, look, I don't know what it is. Some people say it's not that great, but who am I to judge? I never had it, but it's on the list. Tacos for Life. Then you have Taco Nagana's food truck. They got a food truck too. You got Los Camales and Babalu and Mero Taco. So those are some of the places to find tacos in Memphis. So Taco Tuesday, make sure you go get your tacos. So let's talk about, I'm going to go with the homeowners first, right? I'm going to go to the home buyer second. So as a homeowner, you need to know you have to have different parameters in place in order to maintain your home financially and physically. Okay. You have to have the right parameters in place, the things in place for you to take care of the home. Because once you get the home, you have to take care of it financially and physically. So I'm going to give 10 tips to new homeowners on what you should do, to maintain your home. So as a homeowner, make sure that you have, essential tools, screwdriver, you know, hammer, electric drills. I'm gonna say electric grill, electric drills, different things like that. So you can do different, like little small things, like hang shelves, doors, change locks, things of that nature. Well, not change locks, but change the doorknobs and stuff like that. So another tip would be, make sure that you're maintaining your yard. Having a good yard is always, it makes the house look better. And it makes, your neighborhood look better when you maintain your yard. So make sure that you're changing your furnace filter every 3 months, because you don't want all that toxins uh, in your air. Mind you, getting your air ducts cleaned is very essential as well, because it's so many dust mites and ugh type of stuff. Like I said, ugh, gunky and dusted and build up in those you know, in those air ducts that's blowing on you. Think about that. It's blowing on you. That's why you have a lot of dust around, because it's coming from the air ducts. So make sure you get those air ducts clean as well. Replace your batteries and your smoke alarm and your carbon monoxide detector. Like, you don't want to fall victim to that, because carbon monoxide is a silent killer. So make sure that you're maintaining that. If you suspect any mold or moisture in your home, you need to deal with it immediately, because it can cause sickness, of course, but it can also cause a lot of damage. A lot of damage. So avoid leaky, foundation by keeping your plants and other things that have to be watered and any type of moisture away from the walls of the home, because that could cause your foundation to crack. And also it can, like here we have really bad termites, so termites can occur as well. So make sure, like, when you are arranging your furniture, you're not blocking any cold air vents, because that can suffocate your HVAC system, and you don't want to replace the HVAC system. I'm telling you that. It's one of the 5 things, major things that can happen, that has to be replaced, major things that have to be replaced in your home. So I talked about this before, where those are the high dollar items, and HVAC is one of them. So your roof, your HVAC, electrical, plumbing, and foundation are the 5 biggest expenses that you will have to repair. So maintaining those things will help you avoid that. And then the last thing is keep your gutters clear of debris, because it can also damage your roof, also damage the gutters, and also bring moisture into your home. So you don't want that to happen. So that's just some homeowner tips for right now. Let's go over to the home buyers. Those of you thinking about buying a home, right? So Everybody wants to buy a home, you know, and excited about it. Is so exciting, right? And it is. But you have to know that you still have to have some money, even though you're getting like the first time home buyer incentives or whatever the case may be. You still have to have some money. So what some of the costs for buying a home are, uh, you know, lender fees, maybe if you have to pay those, inspection costs, appraisal costs, title, insurance, and sometimes maintenance. So if you have to come with a down payment, that's part of the before you purchase the home cost. So you need to make sure if you in a situation where you have to have a down payment, like if you had that 580 range. Hi, Michael. If you're in that 580 range, you have to come with 3.5% of FHA. So you still have to have some money involved. But if you still are using a bank like Trustmark, then that has 100% financing. Yeah, they're going to give you the 100% and plus money for closing, but you still have to have money for your appraisal, inspection, earnest money, and any other fees and moving, of course. So you need to make sure that you understand that. So closing costs could be a fee. So you need to make sure that you have the closing costs, and that's usually 3 to 6% of the loan amount. So you just need to make sure that you know your closing costs. Title fees are associated, but that's a part of the closing costs as well, because title searches and things like that. You have title search, title settlement, title insurance, all these different things, recording fees that goes along with the closing costs. So you need to make sure that you understand that there are costs when you're buying a home. It's not just free and clear. You do have some costs, but anything that's worth investing in is worth the money. So some other things you might encounter, like I said, the inspection. The inspection is basically what happens when you purchase the home, and then you get somebody to come in to make sure that there's nothing wrong with it, so that you can live in it. It's habitable, and then that you can make sure that there's no major things. And then if there is, then you go back to the seller to negotiate. That's only if it's bought on a if it's not bought on the pretense of sold as is. If sold as is, you can't ask for repairs. You just have to walk away from it if it doesn't work for you. So just understand that there are costs to purchase a home, but it is such a worthwhile investment. And so definitely purchase a home. Now I would say, if you are first starting out, a lot of people don't want to start from the where they are, and I understand that, right? But you have to learn how to do it in steps. So essentially, if you have a champagne taste on a beer budget, you have to start where you are. There's nothing wrong with that, because that one home can help you purchase that bigger home. So just renting until you think you're going to be able to purchase that big home, unless you just have a substantial increase of your income, you get an inheritance or whatever the case may be, you have to come up with a whole lot of money. So when you're talking about houses that are 600,000 and up, that is considered a jumbo loan. But FHA has increased the limit, so 700, I think it's 750,000. Don't quote me on that, but it's in the 700,000 range. You can still get an FHA loan, but you might still have to come with some money down. So you have to make sure that you understand that even in buying a home and you have this, incentives and things like that, you still have costs involved. But the costs that are involved, you know, doesn't outweigh the investment. So start where you are. Don't be afraid of that. Home ownership is home ownership. Stay in it for a few years, buy that smaller home. It's called a starter home for a reason. Buy the starter home. Use that starter home, stay in it for like 3 to 5 years. Use the equity off of that home to purchase the bigger home. So then you'll have more. Then take that starter home and use it as a rental property, or short-term rental, long-term rental, whatever you want to do it. But you have something that can make income that help you pay that other mortgage, or pay the mortgage on that home, and then have a profit. I always suggest that if you have a small family or you're by yourself, your first home should be a multi-unit. That's just my opinion. Other people have different opinions, but a multi-unit, be it a duplex, triplex, fourplex, is still considered a residential home in loan standards, because anything outside of that five units or more is considered commercial. But if you 4 units or less, you can still get residential incentives. So you can still get first time home buyer or home buyer incentives, 100% financing, like they have in Trustmark, all these different things that you can still do with multi-units. So what you do is you live in one side and rent out all the rest of them. All the other people will be paying your mortgage while you sitting on the equity. And then once you stay there for a while, you get everything in order, use that equity to buy that bigger home. Because then you get move out, have another tenant in there. So then you have residual income that's also helping you pay for your other big mortgage. And you have, profit on top of that. That's how the wealthy get wealthy. They use their assets. They use their assets, you know, to purchase those big things, the cars and all of that. Life insurance is considered income as well. Tap into that. Those living benefit life insurance can help you purchase real estate as well. Don't sleep on the life insurance. Don't sleep on it. A lot of people think it's, oh, well, it's just for when I die. No, they have life insurance that you can use right now to help you purchase real estate or invest or whatever. And also, you can use your 401k as income. One of my clients did that. He needed some extra money for, I think it was for his closing costs. And if you're purchasing a home, usually you don't have a penalty on your, when you take a loan, or they'll call it a loan, but in a sense, you take money from your 401k, you don't have a penalty when you're purchasing a home. So I know when I had my 401k, and in his case, you don't have a penalty. You purchasing a home, medical expenses, and if you have to take care of like an elderly loved one, you can borrow money from that. So find out what you can do with your 401k and invest it. I was talking to a lady who has bought like 7, 8 houses in her lifetime. She has just gone, and you can, like I said, start with one and continue to build on it. And she said she used her 401k to invest in all types of things and just put it right back. So use what you already have too to help you invest in yourself. That's all I'm saying. Because I know people are like, well, I don't have the money. I don't have the money. If you've been working on a job for 10 years, 5 years might not be enough, but at least like maybe, well, 5 years, depending on how much you put in there. But 5, 10, 15 years, you're sitting on money that's just, sitting there. And guess what? People are using that money too, because it's regulated by the stock market a lot of times. So you're losing money, you're gaining money, you're losing money anyway. So why not invest it? Use it to invest in yourself. So that's just a little. I'm not a professional financial person. I'm just telling you from my knowledge of what I've done and what my clients have done and people that I've talked to. So contact a financial professional on that note, but just know your options. Know that life insurance can be used now. Find out your options for those living benefits. Know that your 401k can be used right now. You have to wait to retirement to invest it. You have time to put it back, especially if you've been on the job, for like 5, 10 years. If you're going to stay on that job, 10, 15 more years, then why not invest in yourself? So the last thing I'm going to go over is a lot of people, excuse me, want to purchase a home, but their credit score is not up to par. So what are some ways that you can increase your credit score to purchase a home? Got a few tips. So you can report your rent payments to your credit report. That's one way. Because the thing is, like I told you, my friend said she paid $30,000 in rent this from last year. 30,000. Look at your rent ledger, see how much you've paid. So why not get rewarded for it? So you can put your rent on your credit report as a trade line, reporting it every month with different Find out the different rental companies. I am affiliated with one, which is Rental Karma. So, but there's, Credit My Rent. There's all types of different ones, but I'm affiliated with Rental Karma. Rental Karma has been doing wonders for my clients that have signed on to it, and they love the results. They see results within 15 to 30 days. So sometimes, depending on your management company, it could take longer, but it's usually 15 to 30 days you can see an increase. And you usually see an increase between 30 to 100 points. So that can help you as well. Get a secured card with no credit check. If you're just building, but if you have a relationship with a major bank, like I was talking to a young lady, and she has been making thousands upon thousands of dollars, and she never somebody told her to put, like, I don't know, some type of predatory lender on there to build her credit. And she said, "Oh, I bank with Bank of America." And she has $30,000 sitting in her bank account every single month. But she doesn't have enough credit. And I was like, "So why didn't you go to Bank of America? You have to use what you got to get what you want." Okay. Line for Players Club, but in this sense, it makes sense. You have your money sitting in the bank that's making money for the bank. They need to be rewarding you. So I told her to go and ask Bank of America, to what are the qualifications for she had enough money. What's your qualifications for a unsecured, a secured credit card? And she was like, "I could put like 10,000 on it. Hey babe, I could put 10,000 on it right up top." I'm like, "What are you waiting for?" Else, because usually Bank of America, their unsecured credit card, their secure credit cards turn into an unsecured credit card in a year. Navy Federal, theirs is a little bit, their turnaround is quicker. Theirs is 6 months. So if you have, the lenders are looking for major banks on your credit report. If you're banking with a major bank, you need to be contacting them and see what their products are. One of the best ways, though, is getting a secured loan. So if you have the money to do a secured loan and a secured credit card, do it, because it'll increase your credit score. But personal loans increase your credit score faster because it's not a factor of your utilization. So personal loans are a little bit better. So if you get the secure personal loans from those major banks, people don't ask the right questions. You're using these banks. They have your money. They're making money off your money. They're making money off your money. Ask them the products that they have, so that you can utilize that to help build your credit. A secure credit card, secure credit card and secure personal loans. Personal loans, like I said, doesn't affect your utilization. It just shows that you're paying on time, and that is one of the best ways to do it. So create a budget to pay down credit card and other debts. A lot of you, need to increase your credit score by just paying down your debt. Now, if you need a system on how to pay down your debt, I've talked about this before, but I'll repeat it again. It all depends on what you're comfortable with doing. Do you want to tackle the one that has the highest balance or the highest interest rate? Or you want to start with the one that's lowest because that's what you can afford? So you can do like a snowball effect where you start to the top and then it goes down to the bottom. Or you can do like a bottom up effect where you start at the bottom and work your way up. So it's just up to you as to what works for you. So what that is, you pay the minimums, but also let me give you this tidbit. Know when your reporting date is and pay your bill before that reporting date, so then it reflects a lower balance. Because if you are paying it after the reporting date, it's still carrying that balance from the previous month. So what you do is, if you're doing the snowball effect, you take that higher interest rate or the one that has the highest balance, you put, pay double basically on that one, and then pay like $10 extra, minimum plus $10 on the other ones, but put more emphasis on that one, paying it down faster, because you need to know how much is your interest accrued every single day, because interest is compounded every single day. If you know that number too, you'll know exactly how much you need to pay if you go pay in a month. So say for instance, if your cycle date is from January 1st to February 1st. So that means you need to pay your credit card within that window, because probably February 2nd, they're going to report it. So you need to make sure that you are contented to what you know what your statement date is, and not your due date, and paying your credit card bills according to that instead of paying your credit card bills according to your due date. Because you could do the same method. So you take it, you pay more on that higher interest, that or that high the higher balance card, and then whatever, when you get finished, of course, you still have to spend on it, but you'll pay the minimum, and then whatever you was paying on that one, you'll bring down to the other one, plus whatever you was already paying. Sometimes you have to make some sacrifices in the interim to get what you want. I had a conversation with a potential client today. He wanted to tell me what he hasn't done in the past, and I had to let him know, do you want to buy a home or not? Because what you did in the past is not going to work. And he got up and did what he had to do. So you have to understand, in the process of buying a home, if you really want to buy a home, you have to make sacrifices. Some of the things that you used to do, you can't do. And I had to tell him that. He wanted to fight me. He's 61 years old, so you already know what it was, me and him. But my father is a very stubborn man, so I know how to handle it. I know how to handle it. And I was an educator for 15 years. So I know how to handle different personalities in different ways. And you just have to be firm and stern with them, because they're going to tell you what they're not going to do, but then they're going to turn around and do what you say anyway. I know how to play it because I've dealt with my father in many different instances. You know, I asked him, do you want to buy a home or not? So if you want to buy a home, you're going to have to get out of what I don't do, what I didn't do, and what I can't do. Period. Let me say that again. If you want to buy a home and you want to get really serious, you got to be disciplined. You got to get out of what I used to do, what I can't do, and what I don't do. Because some things that you don't do, you're going to have to do. Like if you haven't been doing a budget, you're going to have to do that. If you don't, I'll trust banks, and I had never trust banks. You're going to have to do something you didn't do. You have to have a bank account in order to purchase a home. A reputable bank account from a bank, a real bank though. I know I don't want to mention nobody's names and all that. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to give anybody any, credits or whatever. Only time I get credits to people that pay me. Okay, like Rental Karma. Contact me if you want the Rental Karma discount. You want to add the rent to your look, shameless plug, but no, seriously. You have to have banks that the lenders know. You know, those other ones that you see on TV and all the other ones, whatever. But major banks and credit unions are what they want to see. And when you get into these banks, you need to ask them, what can they do for you? Because your money is being housed in their bank and they're making money off of it. What are their products? What if you have this? What can you do with that? Get a relationship with the banking managers, those that find the underwriter, whoever it is, find out who they are and get a relationship with them and start having a rapport with them and asking them, what do I need for this? What do I need for that? So you will know exactly what you need to do. But make sure that you got to understand, if you're striving to buy a home in 2023, I'm gonna say it once more, you have to be disciplined. You're gonna have to get out of the fact of what you don't do, what you can't do, and what you used to do. I All of that has to go. you know, Spending money frivolously, you're gonna have to slow up on that, because now you have to put more in savings. Yes, you have the first time home buyer and home buyer incentives, but they still want to see savings. They still want to see that you know how to handle and manage money. How are they going to see that if you have zero savings? You have zero savings, and then they look at your bank statements and they see that you spent all your money in 1 month. That's showing them that you don't have money management skills, and they're going to deny you. You can have the credit score and all of that, but if you have any evidence that you don't know how to manage money, they're not going to take the risk, because they're giving you a big amount of substantial money and trust. So in order to build trust, you have to do the things that you know You had to stop with the what I don't do, what I can't do, and what I used to do. All of that has to go when you're talking about buying a home. And get with a professional that's going to help you through this process. That's going to be patient with you through the process. Because a lot of people are out here just to make money. Yeah, it's good to make money. I'm here to serve people. I'm a servant of people first. That's why I was patient with the 61-year-old potential client. I understand his frustrations. He's tried things, he's did things, and nothing has worked. And a lot of people would have gave up on that phone call, y'all, because he was on one. But I said patiently and wait, because you just never know. You just never know. You have to treat people with the utmost respect, because you never know who they know and who they can introduce you to. That's how I always think about it. Anybody that's difficult, unless they just downright disrespectful, then I just cut it. If they're voicing frustration because of what happened to them in the past, or they have some type of limited beliefs, then that's something different. I don't tolerate disrespect, but I do have the patience to work with people that don't have the mindset right now to purchase a home. A lot of people don't have that. A lot of people, I would say a lot of realtors want people that are already in the mindset to go, because they don't go, right? A lot of people just not on go. Some people need a jump start. A lot of people don't have the patience for it. And I truly understand. You do you. But I feel like I'm here to educate and serve. So I have to be a little bit more patient. But that was because I was an educator for 15 years. But I'll get off my soapbox. And, because they said short form video is the best or whatever. But let me know if this is some good information. Drop it in the comments. I forgot to say, you're watching this live, drop a, whatever. But drop if this was some good information. Please let me know and share it with someone. Share the video. You know, I try my best to, well, let me rephrase that. I strive to educate as much as possible. And, I'll do it now for free. It won't be free for long. It's so valuable. And my time is valuable. But, I'll be back tomorrow, though, talking real estate, how to win in real estate again tomorrow. And I'm going to focus on tax season. So just think about it. Real estate and tax season. What do you think I'm going to, talk about? So I bid you adieu. You have a blessed night. Um, it's Winning Wednesday. Oh, if you're on Clubhouse, I do the Women in Networking uh, room at 8 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Eastern. And I turn you all the way up on your Winning Wednesday. So don't miss that. So make sure you tap in with me. If you need any of my services, I'm a real estate agent. I also do financial literacy, credit repair, and I am also in the funding space. So if you need any of my services, you can definitely DM me, or you can make a comment on make a comment on one of my platforms. I'm on IG, Facebook, and on my YouTube. So you can make a comment or send me a message, or my 10K card, my digital card is all over the place. So on IG is in my bio. On Facebook, it's actually, because it's on my business page on Facebook, but it's also on this live. So you can you want to meet with me, you can definitely make an appointment. I would love to help and serve you, regardless of where you live. I can service people all across the United States. So I bid you adieu. You have a blessed night, and I'll see you tomorrow. You done, Mom? Yes.